Welcome back, everybody. I'm Bob Calvert, the founder of TalkingWithHeroes.com. Thank you for your service.us. And we're still here in Elbert, Colorado. We're at Pikes Peak Therapeutic Riding Center, www.pptrc.org. They're one of the newest members of r4alliance.org. They have like over almost 90 now nonprofits across the country. A lot of this is veterans, like you're going to hear here. Veterans helping veterans, people with military families out helping other people. And this is all about equine therapy. As you've heard Melissa earlier, she's behind the camera. Thanks, Melissa. We had a little tour, but now we're going to talk to some of the other leaders here. So if you don't mind, if you could start out, introduce yourself, tell people a little bit about yourself and what you do here.
I am Shannon Mitchell. I am the executive director here at Pikes Peak Therapeutic, and I guess a little bit about myself. I've been with the organization for just over 2 years, came from the corporate world, and have really enjoyed making the shift to the nonprofit sector and being able to help people, especially military, in our community. Being from such a military-based community, it's great to be able to see us make a big difference through equine therapy.
Go ahead and introduce yourself. Of course, Chester, you and I have met.
Yes. I'm Chester DeAngelis. I'm the program director here at Pikes Peak Therapeutic Riding Center. I studied social work, and then I ended up working with horses here, so I like that. It seems like you never really work in a day because every day is so different with the horses.
Hi, I'm Bill Reed, retired Chief Master Sergeant, United States Air Force, and I've been a volunteer here for a little over 10 years at PPTRC. While my service career, most of it was spent in medical treatment facilities, in physical medicine. When I retired from the Air Force after 30 years, I continued working in physical therapy here in the local area. And after a few years there, I retired again, and I needed something to do. And a friend told me about PPTRC. And I came out and looked and took the orientation and was immediately hooked. It was a continuation of what I've done my entire military career, taking care of people. It's just logical, it fits, and I love it.
Sorry, I'm trying to turn my phone on. Don't want to forget. Okay, so why don't you start again? Tell a little bit about what you all do here, and then maybe give some testimony to some of the people that you've helped, some of the results that it's been pretty well documented.
As the executive director, I really kind of run behind the scenes quite a bit in the operations side of things. I leave a lot of it to Chester as the program director. And then I spend a lot of my time out in the community, meeting new people, trying to tell them about what we do, what type of impact we can make on the community. And I guess I'm going to go back to a story that actually got me involved with therapeutic riding to start with, but I think is a testament to what it can do for people. And it's not military specific, but my first involvement with therapeutic riding, I went out to a friend's barn that they have a program here in town as well, and they had a 2-year-old on the back of a horse that had never spoken a word, would make noises every once in a while, but never said a word. And for some reason, the therapist knew that day that this was the day we were gonna make this happen. And they put the little girl on the back of the horse and told her we weren't going anywhere until she said more. And she was kicking and she was making all sorts of noises and doing the sign for more. And she was trying to get that horse to go, but the therapist said, we're not going anywhere until you say more. And probably 15 minutes of kind of fighting with her almost about it. And she finally blurts out the word more. And the whole barn exploded. And the next day I signed up to volunteer. And a few weeks later, I joined the board of directors for Pikes Peak Therapeutic, and now here I am today.
Yep.
So
You've never left.
I've never left. Yep, and have no desire to. So, and since then I've definitely seen lives changed in many ways, and recently got to go watch some military groups of ours, and that's something I don't get to do a lot, is actually be involved with the work because of my role. And so when the days that I get to, it's pretty amazing and definitely life-changing, and reminds me why I'm here.
Exactly. Yeah, word's getting out about equine therapy. I've interviewed a number of R4 members where they're doing equine therapy, And as we do these programs, more military families, they hear about it, veterans
Yeah.
families, they hear about it, and and then sometimes they hear from somebody that actually experienced it
Yeah.
and the changes that happen. So,
Yeah, and those are definitely the best testament,
right.
I think, to the work is the people that have had their life changed because of it.
Okay, Chester?
So as program director here at Pike Speak Therapeutic Riding Center, I work mainly with agencies and kind of filling the schedule, both with agency partnerships and contracts, as well as with individual clients that come to us from the community. So a lot of the military folks that we see out here specifically come from mental health agencies that partner with us at our downtown location, down at Norris Penner's Event Center. And I think I've seen a lot more. I've learned a lot about the military population working with equine therapy. I found it interesting that with, especially those with PTS, there was a lot of emotional identification, not even as far as regulation, just they don't even know what they're feeling a lot of times. The horses really help partner with that because there's the extreme of, they might be hypervigilant and coming off with a lot of anxiety, and they really see that in the horse as well because they are prey animals. And so the horses are hypervigilant to everything, as well as the people, and so they can really see themselves in the horses when they're working with them. And then the other part of that is, the other side of PTS when they might not feel anything at all and they might be very numb to daily life. And then the horses might do something and really make them feel what they haven't felt in a long time. We've had a few stories of the horses actually running up to clients and stopping right before they get to them, stopping really short and putting their head on their chest. And I find that always a really fascinating kind of phenomenon because the soldiers know that the horses are trying to make them feel something, and they say that afterwards, and then all of a sudden they're allowed to voice, oh, I felt scared, or I felt really nervous, or sometimes they even cuss and talk about how they haven't felt anything like that in a really long time. So I find that a really interesting thing that the horse can pull that out of them and make them feel something that they haven't.
Good. Thank you for your service.
You're very welcome. It was my pleasure. Let me start with a story. A couple of years ago, we were working with some soldiers, and we were leading our horses back to the stables. And where we do this down at Norris Penrose Event Center, across a little creek bed from us on an elevated hill is a running track, bicycle track that hikers, bicyclists, and so forth use frequently. But anyway, we're walking along, everything's going along very peacefully, and the horse suddenly shies and moves evasively, and the soldier that was leading the horse goes into a crouch, and we responded and got the horse, got the soldier, and I asked him, "Does you have a flashback?" He said, "Yeah, thought I saw a bad guy." I said, "You spend a lot of time in your mind over there?" "Yeah." I said, "How much?" "Oh, probably 80%. 80% of his waking hours and his sleeping hours, he's still in the war zone, in the AOR. We worked with him, and when the 8-week session was over, I asked him one day, "Well, how are you doing?" "Well, I'm only over there about 20% now." I said, "How does it feel?" "Well, it feels great. I'm starting to feel comfortable to be back in the country." The psychiatrists and psychologists that I've talked with give me lots of theories and so forth, but nobody really knows, I don't think, why this works. But the point is, it does. Now, there are multiple studies going around nationally on trying to quantify and qualify why equine therapy works. And ultimately, they'll come up with numbers that the insurance companies can buy into and so forth. But the point from my heart is it works. And I don't care why. It works.
You want to add to that?
No,
Okay.
I feel like he told the story
Okay.
beautifully.
There's a really neat picture back here. Can you talk about that, Bill? You told me about it in the other room, but
Sure. I'm going to stand up. It's easier. This horse and these fellows on the rail, this was painted by a client of ours several years ago who we were working with him in hippotherapy. This young man, at the time we were working with him, was in his very early 20s and had a list of complications from child abuse that was about as long as your arm. He was nonverbal, was non-ambulatory. His mom brought him out in, his adoptive mom, I should say, brought him out in a wheelchair. And this crew of 4 railbirds, I call ourselves, we worked with him for about 6 years. And we would have to physically lift him out of the wheelchair, set him on the horse while somebody else led the horse. Then we would take him out into the ring. And one of the things that Joe could do is paint. Now, usually his paintings were very bright and abstract and everything, but he wanted to paint this picture as a thank you. And the horse in the picture is a horse called Storm, and that was the horse that he rode for about the last 3 years that he was here in therapy with us. And as I said earlier, the Railbirds were guys that he worked with, and we worked with him once a week, for about an hour and 15 minutes or so. And he progressed in that time from initially it took 4 of us to hold him safely on the horse. After about 2.5, 3 years, we only needed 2 to hold him on. And as he progressed through the 6 years that we worked with him, he actually got to the point so that the 2 sidewalkers that were still supporting him were only using a very minimal thigh hold. And so he had developed this core strength, which most of us don't ever think about because it's just natural. Though that's what helps us sit erect. That's what holds us erect when we're walking. And Joe had progressed that much. And as I say, he had a list of complications starting with brain damage that were as long as a grown-up's arm. But he painted that picture for us, and we've kept it hanging in the barn out here since, just as a reminder that miracles happen here daily.
I appreciate you taking me in that little room back there and showing that to me, because I appreciate you sharing that. So for people watching, maybe they're not in the military or veterans, but specifically veterans, military families, caregivers. They should go to your website, right?
Absolutely.
I don't know who wants to take on that. And then, what would they do in your website? Are there certain links? How do they contact you?
The website, www.pptrc.org, it will show you all of the breakdowns of our programs. A lot of times we get callers and they're not quite sure what they want to do with the horses, but they know they want some sort of equine therapy. So some of the website will show you the breakdowns of what each program entails, so that they might have some knowledge before they call. Otherwise, you can just give us a call, and the website or the phone number is on the website there, or you can email us through the website currently, and we'll get your services going for you.
Do you all work with other organizations in town here? Do you collaborate?
Yeah, a lot of our mental health clients that come here for equine therapy, they do come from outside agencies. And so we work with agencies such as Cedar Springs Hospital, Memorial Hospital, Children's Hospital of Colorado, Griffith Center for Kids, the VA, the vet center here, they do refer to us as well. And so anytime that they come from an agency, they usually go through their agency and then come to us. But if they're not with an agency such as those, they can certainly just call and we can get them set up with services.
Okay, now I first met you at Penrose. It's Penrose Norton, right? Or Norton Penrose?
Norris Penrose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, it's okay.
I first met you there. What do you all do there?
Yeah, so the differences between our locations, this location we do all of our riding therapies. We do a minimal amount of the mental health therapies based on location. A lot of our TRICARE folks come here because we're the closest to the eastern part of El Paso County. But down at Norris Penn, there's a lot of our agencies like that. It's a lot closer to them to bus their clients there, and it's a lot closer to the downtown area for anyone who lives there. So there we do all of our mental health therapies. We don't do riding there as of now. I know it's a big dream here to get full riding therapies there as well.
Okay. Do you have some events coming up, maybe later this year or into early next year, that we could let people know about ahead of time? That people can come out to?
We actually just had our major annual fundraising event this
Right.
last weekend, so
I hope that went very good.
it went really well. We hit all of our income goals. I don't have all of the final figures in yet, but we definitely one of our most successful events that we've ever had. And this fall, we're hoping to do an open house in the middle of October. So we're going to kind of team up with the rest of the facility, the other businesses that are on this same property as us, and do an open house just to bring people out here, get them to know us, who we are, help them figure out that we're really not that far away, and just introduce them to the equine world. So I don't have a date for that yet, but maybe find us on Facebook or on Instagram, as well as look on our website, and we'll have more information there.
How do they find you on Facebook?
It's
Peak
Pikes
Therapeutic?
Peak Therapeutic Riding Center, correct?
Are you on Twitter? Not yet.
No.
I just recently
we're
got on
we're
Twitter.
trying to join the social media
I know.
world.
Me too. Okay. Well, great. Anything else you want to share with people watching?
I'd say just ask questions if you want to learn more about equine therapy, whether it's reaching out to us or other people in the industry. Just ask questions, ask people what their stories are, talk to our volunteers, and definitely get yourself involved. This is a therapy unlike any other, and it helps people in ways that no other therapy can. So
Okay, good. So I like to not end programs without giving a shout out to our troops, and everybody's following the news knows there's a lot more soldiers going over to certain countries, and there's a lot of them there already. So
absolutely.
care packages are so important. I think a lot of people, it's been out of mind now for a while, and so I'm trying to help some of these nonprofits that are still sending out care packages.
Yeah.
So why don't you give a shout out to them?
I'd just say
The
thank
troops.
you. Yeah, thank you to our troops. Thank you to our military and to our veterans. The things that you do for us and protect us in the way that you do is amazing, and something that not most people wouldn't be willing to do. So thank you.
Go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to our troops and their families. I know there's a lot happening overseas and a lot happening here at home as well. So thank you to the families that are supporting all of our military personnel.
To my brothers and sisters still on active duty, serving around the world, keep your head down. Look out for your buddy. Look out for yourself. And don't forget to take care of your family. And for those of us who are in country, look around your neighborhood. Is there a wife? Is there a husband with a deployed service member in your neighborhood? Look after them. They're important. These men and women are defending our way of life. Thanks, guys.
I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come out here and collaborate with you. I hope to be able to do more of that. I think I'm going to put a team together next time, though. Be easier on me. Well, thank you very much. And once again, their website address is www.pptrc.org. I want to also say to our men and women who are still serving around the world, especially if you're in harm's way someplace, be safe, stay alert. We look forward to you all coming home. And to all of you, your families, all our veterans and families, our first responders and families. I mean, you look at the TV, what's going on in Texas right now. You know, I mean, the heroes, there's so many of them. They're civilians, but they're all the first responders, the National Guard, so many different people down there, and there's so much work to do. And so, you know, when you know somebody that's serving or has served, thank them. You know, Gold Star family, thank them. Not for losing their child, but they're serving in a different way. Some Gold Star families tell me it's a club you don't want to be in. So, but anyway, be safe. We look forward to you coming back home safe. And everybody, please share these videos with everybody you can. Social media, any way that works for you. And thank you very much. I'm Bob Calvert. God bless you. God bless America.